I've been a man for quite some time. With being a man, you discover neat little tricks and things that only dudes do. So I thought it would be a great idea to make a tier list of all of these grotesque things that men do on a casual basis. See, BuzzFeed made a video 9 years ago. And on this day, we watch said video and we kind of see what is the baseline for what is the weird things guys do when they're alone. So let's take a look and see what this video is about. Dude, I do this, it's like pull something out of the fridge, give it the old sniff test. If it passes, you're all good. If the milk's a day past, expiration, give it the old snifferoo. Now mayonnaise and whatever the hell that is, that's fucking sick, pal.
Still hungry. 100.
Hi, Tommy.
Excuse me, you didn't see us standing in line here? You can't save a spot in a line. That's not what the properties of a line.
I mean, this is like the trademark, right? Like, if you don't know something, no matter how ridiculous it is, you gotta give it the Google search. I mean, like if you have an intrusive thought like, yo, why do my balls stink? Huh? Google it.
Nothing.
Well, I'm sure we all kind of identify with that a little bit. But the tier list, and upon making said tier list, I've noticed that as men we have a tendency to use the old sniffer quite a bit. I wouldn't do that in public. Or maybe I would. Sneak it in. But first off on the tier list, we've got the armpit sniffer. Like, come on, guys. This one is, if you're at the gym and you forgot to put on deodorant, which I do at least once a week, like when you're on the bench and you're like, act like you're reaching down to grab something and you give the old armpit a sniff. Don't act like you haven't done it. So, this is a staple. I would have to put this in S tier. I think this is an easy S tier. It's a staple. We all do it. I mean, come on. Next up, we have smelling our own tootsies, the old footsies. Another trademark. Man, I'm just disgusting, you guys. So, I think a lot of men do this. Like, if you're not, taking the socks off and giving them the old smell after a long day of work, I don't know, that's just me. But I think this one is, as a man's trademark, I gotta go with S tier. This is another S tier. And then the jewels, the lowest hanging fruit, the smelly fruit, the durian, the old scratch and sniff. There's just something so comforting about this, right? Huh? It's hard to, be proud of, but, I find myself doing the old scratch and sniff. Like, this is, just because I'm not proud of it, we'll put it at A tier. But let's all be real here. There's a comfort to this. There's it's very grounding. It reminds you that you're human. It's like if a garbage can gave you a hug. First three are what's wrong with us? First three are all smelling. The next two are related to smelling. Dude, we just smell things. All right, so smelling underwear. I feel like that's a pretty normal thing. If you're like scrounging around in your sister's panty drawer, and that's a problem. But if you're smelling, you know, giving the smell test to your own drawers, I mean, I'll be the first to admit I'm not necessarily on top of my laundry. So if I like, you know, if there's a pair lying on the floor, well, you give it the smell test, and if it passes the smell test, well, then you're ready to go. Just for the sheer utility of this one, because I don't know if I could get through life without doing the smell test. I mean, this is another easy A tier, right? All right, so smelling what would potentially be old food before you engage in masticating said food. Now this one is we're probably gonna be in the B-C area, because I like the utility of this. You know, there's something really beautiful to be said about, you know, having the ability, because obviously we're using our sniffer in all other walks of life, so it only makes sense to bring it into the gourmet area. But you gotta make sure things are edible before you toss it down. Just for sheer utility, we'll go B. You know, because I find myself doing a jug of milk, give it the old smell test. Because if it's a little sour, then we're like, maybe this milk's is done for. But yeah, we'll put that in B. We'll put that in B. And this one I added, because I do this one a lot. But I'll put stuff in the dish or the sink, and then I'll come back to it later, because I always rinse off my dishes after I put it in there, you know? So, like, I get most of the grime off. I'll come back, like, a couple hours later, and I'm, like, warming up a slice of pizza, and it's like, dude, why would I dirty another dish when I already have a semi-clean dish in there? All I gotta do is, like, rinse it off again and give it the old dry down with a paper towel. And then she's good to go. Warm yourself up. Like, dude, if you're putting chicken nuggets on a plate, like, even if there's some residual, like, say I had a bologna sandwich on there earlier, like, I mean, so for me personally, just because I feel like it's not as unanimous, put it down the middle as a B. Target practice. And so what I mean by target practice is, you know, when you go to take a pee, and you're like seeing how much range you can get on it. You know what I'm saying. Pretty first grade stuff here, if I don't say. I mean, this has got to be an S tier, right? I mean, we've been doing this for years. You know, I've been walking this planet, you know, for 22 years at this point. And I think at least once a month I find myself coming back to this target practice here. So, I mean, we gotta, just for the sake of humanity here, we gotta put that up at the S tier. Using the Force, this it comes from the video. Using the Force, I mean, do you guys use the Force? Do I need to start, like, seeing if I can move pillows with my hands more often? I don't know, I'm missing out on this one, but, like, for me, like, this is our first D tier. Yeah, so we'll put that in the D tier. Now, doing push-ups around the house, I mean, if you're not going to the gym and, like, you're, like, trying to start fitness goals, I mean, I guess that's great, but, like, just get a gym membership. Doing push-ups around the house, I mean, if you're trying to work on a fitness goal, I mean, I'd put this as a C. But, like, just get a freaking gym membership. There's no reason to be exercising at your house unless you have, like, a freaking crazy gym at your house. Next up, we've got the ghost pee. I mean, enough said right there, right? I mean, this is an absolute gold standard of, you know, what it means to be a man. And I mean, this is where it's at. I mean, this is an easy S tier. I mean, having the ability to just mute, like, if you're in an uncomfortable situation or staying the night at, like, a girl's house and you don't want her, like, dog to hear and, like, go barking at the door and make a big scene. I mean, like, dude, you're using this, like, come on, you're using this 90% of the time, probably 100%. Let's be real here. That's an easy S tier. I mean, man, maybe I'm the wrong guy to be doing this tier list, because, I mean, 4 S tiers, jeez. But, I mean, let's be real. So, talking in the shower / therapy sessions in the shower. I mean, for me, I'm gonna kind of deduct from that, and I'm gonna add on to my personal thing is I find myself doing like impressions in the shower, like Homer Simpson or like Plankton or some shit. The acoustics in the shower, they're mint. I don't know. This is probably a C tier. What next? Googling random things. Googling random things is like, it can be so many things. Like if you're a hypochondriac like me, like I'll feel like a weird lump on my hand and Google like what are all of the different cancer related things. But like just Googling random shit, I mean dude, I do this so much. I mean, yeah, this has got to be a B tier, right? Last one, parkour around the house. I don't know. Once again, I don't know if I'm missing out. But like, if you're feeling whimsical, you know, like you just caught a Valorant dub, and you know you're getting out of your chair all whimsically, and you run out to like grab a glass of water between rounds or something, and you hop over the couch. I mean, that's pretty. I feel like I'll find myself doing that every now and again. So for that reason, I think a C tier is where this belongs. And so that wraps up the tier list for the gross things that men do on a frequent basis. Let me know where you would have put these. I mean the smelling stuff. Like, come on, guys. Like, we got to be real, you know. I feel like this is literally best tier list NA. At least for what we watched. Let me know how I did, and I will see you in the next one.